idea here is to give you a number of ways that you can stretch easily just using your chair or just a small space. You don't really have to have a desk, but I put a improvised desk here in front of me just to be like you. So the first thing we want to do is get up out of your chairs, because the whole reason you need to stretch is because you've been sitting for too long. So come on up, and let's just go ahead and stand by your chair so you can hold on to it for some balance. And let's just start swinging the outside leg just back and forth, just an easy swing, just to get the blood flowing. And think about kicking back more than forward, because when you're sitting all day, that knee is already bent all the time. So what we're trying to do is open up the hip and get some extension into the hip. Good. All right, and then you can either stay where you are, if you want to move your chair to the other side, let's just do the other leg. And what is important is that make sure that your chair, or you can use your desk, whatever you're holding on to, lets you stand up straight. Okay, you don't want to be reaching down for your chair, because that kind of defeats the purpose of standing up tall and getting some movement. So focusing on that backwards kick, maybe even feel your glute muscles and your cheek engage a little bit. That's all good for you. Also gets the blood flowing. Good. Okay, and then let's use our arms to open up our back body. So diagonal arms, and then bring them down and reach and stretch. And reach and stretch. So what we do when we sit at our desk all day is that we're hunched forward. Right? We're typing on our computer, we're writing things down. So what we're trying to do is focus on our posterior chain, posterior meaning back. So that's why we kicked to the back, and now we're opening up the chest, and we're contracting the muscles in the back of the shoulders, in the back. Good. And then take your feet comfortably apart, and let's just do some easy twisting, and go ahead and let those feet and knees move. So if you could just set an alarm on your clock for maybe every 60 to 90 minutes to just stand up for 90 seconds, and you did, this was your first 90 seconds, you feel a lot better when you sat down. Good. Okay, so we're going to go on and work on kind of the bottom up of stretching our bodies. So I'm going to turn my chair just so I think you can see better. And the first thing I'm going to do is stretch my calf. So I'm going to stand close to the chair, and again, I don't want to have to lean down, so make sure your chair is high or stand at your desk, something that you can just use for balance that's comfortable to reach for. Let's take your right leg back. You're going to bend that left knee, and you're going to push that heel down. Good. And as I do this, I'm going to think that I'm growing tall up through the crown of my head. So I should feel a nice stretch through the back of the leg from the heel. Maybe I feel it more in my calf as it comes up. And then just lift your heel, rock forward, and press it back. So as I rock forward, I'm kind of straightening that front leg a little bit. So just giving me some ankle mobility here, some dynamic stretching. Good. And then we're going to stay on this side. So push that heel down. And something that is important is to look at your back foot and make sure your heel is behind your toe. A lot of us automatically turn our leg externally, and we don't want to do that. So now we're going to just kind of lean forward on that chair and keep that front leg bent. You should feel a stretch in the back of the rear end on that side, and then push yourself up. And hinging forward and pushing up. So we're stretching that left cheek. At the same time, we're still stretching this right calf, so that all feels good. Good, and then this one, let's stay down. So I hope you're joining me for all this. And go ahead and straighten that front leg. Try to square your hips and then bend that front knee. So now we get a little bit into that hamstring. So just bend and straighten a few times. You don't want to lock the knee. You want to just kind of straighten it and feel that stretch coming all the way up the back of your thigh into that attachment in your hip. Good. And then let's bend that knee and come up. And now I'm going to take, my left foot is forward, so I'm going to use that hand. So sorry, my back is to you. I'm going to turn and reach as far away from you as I can. So I'm turning towards my front leg. And bring my hand back. Now I'm going to take my right hand up, so it's opposite to the front leg. And I'm going to reach up for the sky, really tall. And then I can hold on to my chair. I'm going to reach over my front leg and a little bit backwards. I'm going to open up all those muscles down my right side. And then you can come up. Let's do the other leg. So take the other leg back. Press that heel down. Make sure that the heel is right behind the toes. You shouldn't be able to see your heel if you glance down. Push your hips forward, bend that front knee. And then let's lift the back heel and press it down. So we'll just do this about 6 times. There's no magic number, guys. So if you're pressed for time, just do something. Something is better than nothing. Let's do 2 more. Good. Hold that heel down. And then bring your chest forward over that front leg. Square your hips and press yourself back up. Good. And make sure as you come up, that you come all the way up. All the way up. Ears over shoulders, over hips. Couple more of these. And then this next one, let's stay down. Good. And now straighten that front leg, pushing your hips back, trying to square your hips, and bend that front knee. So just bend and straighten the front leg. And every time you straighten it, there's a little pause so we can really stretch that hamstring. Feel that length. You don't have to be way down low so your back rounds. You want to have a nice straight line. Pull your abdominals in so we don't hyperextend that back. Let's just do one more here. Good. Bend that knee. Let's come back up to where we started. That back heel is down. Good. And then we're going to use my right foot as forward. So I'm going to use that right hand, and I'm going to rotate and stretch behind. Really reach. Reach, reach, reach farther. Good. We're opening up the chest, and bring it back. And then take the other hand up, opposite to the front leg, and reach up, up, up to the sky. And then a little bit over, and a little bit back. And breathe. Fill up those lungs. They can fill up this upper side, really fill up the lungs on that side. Exhale. And then bring that arm around. Good. All right. So the next one we're going to do is just stretch our inner thighs a little bit. So I'm going to take my feet nice and wide in the back of my chair. Again, if your desk is at a better height for you, you can do all these things at your desk, so you choose what you want to do. So first what I want to do is push my hips back just a little bit, not a lot. So I have this nice ear, shoulder, hip alignment, and then I'm going to bend my right knee, and I'm going to sink my bottom low, keep my chest higher than my hips. Maybe you feel a little bit of stretch in this inner thigh. I'm going to move my chair so you can see. Now I'm going to take that foot and turn it up to the sky. Ooh, yeah. Good. And I'm going to turn it back down. I'm going to turn it back up. And I'm going to turn it down. So I'm also getting some mobility in the tip joint. Turn it up. Press it down, and then I can stand up. Good. So let's go to the other leg. So you don't actually have to bend your chair. I mean, move your chair. I'm just moving it so you can see. So hips are back, chest is forward. So if you looked at me from an angle, I'm here. All right, and then I'm going to open up my toes and knee to the sky. I'm going to bring it back down. 3 times. Open up. Bring it down. One more time. Open up. Bring it down. And then push yourself up. Good. So then, let's just do some hip circles here because we just opened up our hips a little bit. Good. All right, so hopefully that feels a little bit better in the hips. And let's work on the hip flexors. So when you're sitting all day and that knee is up, these are your hip flexors. Those are what bring your knee up. What we need to do is stretch them out. So for this one, I'm going to stand in between my chair and my desk so that I can put my knee on my chair. So I want to kneel with one knee on the chair. Okay? My desk is just for balance, so if you don't need the balance or you don't have a desk, that's fine. So I'm going to move that front leg forward, and then I'm going to bend that front knee so that this knee back here is behind my hip. So I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see what I'm talking about. There. You see how my knee is behind my hip? That's going to open up that hip. Now what I want you to do is imagine that you are going to pull your belly back and your pubic bone up to your navel. And I'm going to lengthen this low back. So see this big curve? I want to get rid of my curve. Yeah. And now you can really feel that intensity deepen into that hip. That's your hip flexor. That is the most important stretch we're going to do today, I promise you. So take a big breath in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. All right, and then use your hand, come off that chair, and then let's do the other leg. So turn your chair, turn around, whatever you need to do in your space. And with the other knee on your chair, make sure that front foot is forward so that the hips are in front of that back knee, yeah? So if you're here, you're not going to get a stretch. So we got to be forward. Good, shoulders are back. See this curve in my back? I want to get rid of it, so I'm going to tuck under a little bit. That just deepened the stretch into my hip. Maybe you're feeling it a little bit down the front of your thigh or quadriceps. They're actually stretching a little bit here too. That's all good. Ideally, this could be one of your 90-second stretches where you hold each side for 30 seconds. You take 30 seconds to change sides. How about that? So this is probably the most important stretch of the day. If you don't remember anything else, try to remember this one. Good. All right, let's come off of that. So we've done a lot with our legs and our hips. We're going to do a little bit more when we sit down. But before we do that, let's start moving that spine some more. Because you've been sitting, and I can show you how you've been sitting. You've been like this for hours, right? Shoulders rounded, back rounded, nothing good happening. So we need to stretch that back. So what I want you to do is put your hands either on your desk or on your chair. Just depends how tall you are and how comfortable you are. We want to get your back pretty parallel to the floor or higher than the floor, okay, not lower than the floor. And what I want to focus on, I don't know how many of you have done yoga, but there's cat-cow pose, but I just want to do the cow. And why? Because this is the cat, and I just showed you, you've been sitting like this for hours. I want you to do the cow. I want you to lift that tail, push your collarbone forward, pull those shoulders back. Oh, that feels good. And then release. Take a big breath in. Lift the tail, push the collarbones open, push the chest forward. Exhale, come back to that neutral spine. Let's do it a few more times. Inhale, we lift the tail, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. And exhale. One more time. Lifting the tail, feeling those shoulder blades drop and come in, feeling the collarbones nice and wide, that chest opening. Awesome. Release. And let's just walk in. Nice. All right, so facing forward, let's take those arms out to the side. And we're going to do a lateral spinal flexion. So one arm come behind and one arm come over. And I didn't move my hips. I moved from my waist up. And then I'm going to come back. Good. And then let's go to the other side. Big stretch. So I'm trying not to rotate. If I look at me from the side, I see just my side body. I shouldn't have any rotation here. We're going to get to that, I promise you. Good. Let's do one more. Make sure that you're breathing. There's not really a right and wrong way to breathe as long as you don't deplete your body of oxygen. I like to inhale here and exhale up. All right, now let's do a little rotation. Stretch out those arms, and then keep your legs facing forward, keep your hips forward, and let's just do a little rotation to the right, and a little rotation to the left. Good, and if you feel like this is tightening up your shoulders, I want you to bend your elbows and turn your palms up. Because the last thing we want to do is create stress in our shoulders. We have enough of that. That's why we're here. All right, two more, just nice little rotations in that upper body, in that thoracic spine, mid-upper backs doing our turning. And now we're going to put that side bend and that rotation together. So take one hand over, one hand behind, and now rotate and stretch in opposite directions. Oh, it feels so good. Come back to the front, and then come up. Let's go to the other side. Side bend first. Rotate and stretch. Come back to face front. And come up. Good. Roll those shoulders back. All right. So we've gotten some movement in that back. We're going to continue with this thoracic extension. So what I want to do this time is put my hands back on the desk or on the chair, wherever you're comfortable. just make sure that your chest isn't lower. We're not trying to stretch the hamstrings, knees are relaxed, okay? So wherever you are, I want you to lift up one arm to the ceiling and stretch way up high. And then slide that hand under your other and reach as far away as you can, like you're trying to grab something across the room. Good. Now, while I do this, the hand that is pointing to that leg, I want you to straighten that leg and bend the other. Oh, yeah. Let's switch. Bend the knee as you reach up. So now I've got my left arm up, my right knee bent, so opposite. And then reach under. Good. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, reach under. So not only are we getting spinal movement, we're getting some hip stretching. And come back, and let's just stand up, roll our shoulders back and down a couple times. Notice whenever I do a shoulder roll, I always go backwards. What's the point of going forwards when we've done that all day? So open. It's always about opening. All right, let's do the other side. So I'm going to use my right arm this time. So I'm going to take that right arm up, and I'm going to straighten that left leg, that right leg. And then I'm going to reach under, bending that right knee so that I'm reaching with that right arm. Good. Bend the left knee, reach up. And then switch knees, bend the right knee, reach away. Good, one more time. Reaching up, reaching away, and back to the middle. And give me that backwards shoulder roll. Good. All right, let's move on. Let's go ahead and sit. So let's get back to our hips a little bit. All right, sit on the front edge of your chair. Good. And now that we're sitting, I just want you to be a little bit careful if you're on a chair with rolling wheels. I just don't want you to go anywhere. Okay, if you have locks, you can lock them. So let's take one ankle, and I want you to put that ankle, use your hands because you may not be able to do it, up onto that thigh. Now, a lot of us are going to be here. That's life. Welcome to the human race, guys. That's not anything to beat yourself out about. That's where you are today. It's because you've been sitting a while. All right, that's fine. If it feels super tight, move that bottom leg away from you a little bit. So I want you to find a place that maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is I don't feel anything and 10 is call 911, I want you around a 6, a 5, 6. Okay, so you feel a little bit of a tug, a little bit of discomfort, but you can deal with this. This isn't like, oh my God, get me out of here right now. Breathe in through the nose and sit up nice and tall. Exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Good. We're going to deepen the stretch a little bit. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale with a nice long back, just hinge forward just a tiny bit. Stay in that 6, 7 range of discomfort. Don't go deep. Good. Let's just stay here. This is an easy one to do. You can be on a phone call. Nobody's seeing you, right? You're on those Zoom calls still and those WebEx calls. No one sees what's going on over here. Cross your leg over, guys. All right, now sit up, and what I want you to do is keep sliding that leg so that we go knee over knee. So our cocktail party pose, okay? And let's do a little twisting. So opposite hand's gonna hold on, and I'm just gonna reach behind me. And I'm not really jarring myself or pulling. I'm just using this for support. And think of a barbershop pole that spirals up and back. So you want to be spiraling around and up. Good. And bring it back. All right, let's switch legs. So bring that other heel, ankle up onto your thigh. Good. Wherever it is. You're probably not the same right and left. Again, that's being human. Sit up nice and tall. Good. Somebody has asked me recently, do I push down? Like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think if I just rest my arm, gravity's going to just do its thing all by itself. I don't have to force anything. Good. Inhale, lengthen the spaces between the vertebrae. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale deeper. Let those lungs. Exhale through the back of your throat. Good, one more time. This time, as you exhale like that ocean wave, hinge forward a little bit. Just deepening that stretch. And we hang out here. Did you know stretching is easier if you bring the corners of your mouth up? There you go. Everything's easier with a smile on your face. All right, give me another 5 seconds here. So my second favorite stretch, the first one that I wanted you to remember was that hip flexor with your knee on the chair. This is my second one I want you to remember, is to take those phone calls and cross your foot. Every time that phone rings, foot goes up on your knee. All right, come on, sit up. We're going to slide that knee across, find that cocktail party pose, and then reach that arm and open up. So this is going to open up your chest, and that's really important too. And we're activating those back muscles in that upper back. Turn your head. How far can you turn your head? Because your neck needs to stretch too. We're going to do more of that shortly. And bring it back to the front. So good. Okay, now let's do a little bit more into the hamstring. Let's take one leg forward. Make sure you're sitting far at the front on your chair, but not enough that you're going to fall off. All right. And we're just going to bring our nice long back forward and pull these toes up. So again, this is getting that hamstring and that calf. And sit up. All right, now keep your heel right where it is. We're going to externally rotate the femur in the hip socket. And now, I want you to torque again. So you're going to feel this in a different place because your hamstrings, plural, are not one muscle. So when you turn your foot in different directions, you hit different parts of the muscles. Good. Stay here. Bring your foot in. Can you even go maybe farther than the center line? Rotate inward. Rotate outward. Rotate in. Rotate out. And then let's come up. Good. Let's get that other leg. Toes up. Nice long back. So why do I keep talking about a long back? Because it totally defeats the purpose to do stretches with your nose to your knee, because that's how you've been sitting. So I'm trying always to think of length in my back. Good. Sit up. Take that stress off that stretch. Open the toes. Open the knee. Hinge forward. Turn your toes in, all the way in past midline if you can. Turn your knee and your toes up. Good. Think of the rotation coming from the hip socket, not from the foot, even though I talked about the foot. Rotating up here, back and forth. Good. And sit up. Okay, let's stand up again. Roll the shoulders back. Every time you stand up, give yourself a nice open chest. All right. So let's open up that chest a little bit more, and we'll also stretch our triceps. Not that it's a lot of work to hold your phone in your triceps, but it feels good to stretch. Take one arm up to the sky. You're going to reach behind your back. Take your other hand, grab that elbow. Good. Try to pull the elbow behind your head. It probably won't go. It'll probably stay right here. That's fine. Push your head back into your arm. Good. So by having two arms up, we're getting this nice stretch across our chest. We're also maybe feeling that stretch down the tricep right here. Good. Can you find some better posture than what you have right now? So draw those abdominals in. So you can feel like you're growing an inch taller through the crown of your head. Good. And release it. Oh. Take the other arm up and back. Grab the elbow. Pull the elbow as close to your center line as you can. And you probably notice that one side is a little bit more forgiving than the other side. That's normal. Normal is being out of balance, right? That's just how we are, so we just have to keep working to stretch both sides. All right, stand up a little taller. That curve in your low back, can you try and minimize it by drawing your abs and push your chin up a little bit more. Good, let it go. Good. Clasp your hands behind your back. If you can't get your fingers interlaced, maybe you can grab a wrist. Maybe you just have to put your hands on your back pockets and then reach down, 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 down. Draw those shoulder blades away from your ears. Reach your fingers to the floor. Feel how that opens up your collarbones. Good. Drop your cheek to the side. Oh, we're into our neck. Close your eyes. Big breath in through the nose. Out through the back of the throat like a wave. Bring your head to the center. Tip your head to the other side. Close your eyes. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale through the back of the throat. Head back to the center. Release those arms. Roll out those shoulders. Good. Put your index finger and your thumb together. You got 3 fingers pointed up. Take your other hand, grab those 3 fingers. Push your wrist away. Drop your shoulders away from your ears, so not up here. Drop them down. Nice long necks. Pull those fingers back. So we do a lot of typing, I'm assuming. So this is a great wrist stretch. Good. Release the fingers, turn your palm up. Same position, thumb and index finger together, pull those 3 fingers back. Good. Make a fist. Pull your fingers towards your wrist. Put your other hand on top. Push your elbow straight. Good. Now I know you can do all this part sitting, but why sit when you can stand? Shake it up. Put your index finger and your thumb together. On the other hand, pull those 3 fingers back. Make sure that your arms aren't creeping up, because we don't want to involve the shoulders. I promise you your shoulders are tight enough without any help. Okay, release, turn your fingers down, pull them back. Nice. Okay, make that fist. Tuck your knuckles towards your forearm. Other hand comes on top, push the elbow, this working hand, push that elbow straight. Pull with your other hand. And shake of those hands. Good. All right, our final stretches. We're going to come back to standing with our chair. We're going to face the chair. I think I'll do it on an angle so you can see. Okay. So it doesn't matter which leg you use first because we're going to go both directions. So one foot is going to cross in front of the other. So not foot by foot, slightly in front. So cross diagonally. Yes, we're going to send that link again, definitely. Okay, so from here, hold on to the chair with one hand, reach sideways and push your hips away from that arm. So you're reaching in opposition. Good, come up. Now, I want you to push your hips the other way and reach the other arm. Once again, we're back to stretching the muscles in the back, down our low part of our spine, around the sides, and come up. Good. Let's finish it up, crossing the other foot in front. That same thing. So reach one direction, push your hips away. So as you want to create as much distance as you can between your hips and your fingers out here. Good. And then just change hands, push your hips the other direction. Hips are going as far away from those fingers as you can handle. Awesome. Stand up, interlace your fingers behind your head. Bring your elbows forward, drop your chin to your chest. Inhale, open the elbows. Look up to the sky. Reach up to the sky. Pull those elbows down behind your back. Open that chest and shake it out. You guys.